Hello, creative writers. It's been a while since we've seen each other and chatted, but I wanted to make a quick little video for you guys as we are trying to wrap up our fiction practice work and prepare to do our fiction portfolio. Um, so thank you to those of you who have been keeping up with everything. I understand that creative writing is an elective and it may not take priority given all of your classes, but just know that all I need from you is some sort of effort and you will pass the class. So if you haven't yet, if you log into our classroom and you click on the classwork tab, you'll notice that all of our practice activities for fiction are listed right here. So please try to do as many of these as you can. They really don't take too long. You can certainly take some time to catch up, but you're going to notice that today I've posted or I will be posting, and this video will be a part of it, the fiction portfolio assignment, which looks like this. So I wanted to make sure you understood the expectation and the timeline for this. Now that you have practiced a bunch of different skills in fiction, you are going to create your portfolio just like you did for nonfiction. So it does say on here that you need 2 fully developed polished fiction pieces. A lot of the students of the past have approached this in very different ways. Even though it says 2, I want you to be mindful about your pieces and what makes the most sense. If you're going to write 2 short stories and they're both relatively short, maybe 2 to 3 pages, then definitely do the 2 pieces, because I need to see ample evidence of your fiction writing. And just by doing a 1 to 2 page story, that really isn't enough to show everything on the 4 rubrics. So alternatively, if you're thinking that the story you want to write is a novel, I have had students sort of bullet out the plot overview of their novel and then write a chapter or 2, usually 2 different chapters, sometimes the first 2 chapters, sometimes the climactic chapter because they've already worked on that activity in the fiction unit, sometimes the very last chapter because they know exactly in their mind how their story is going to end. So you can kind of pick any 2 chapters from your novel to work on. You can certainly do more than that if you're really inspired, but I may not be able to comment on all of it just given everything. But at the very least, think about how you can compile your fiction work in a way that makes sense for what your story is about and what you want to do. You can use your character story if you want. You can use that, brainstorming from a theme. You can use your dialogue draft. You can use a brand new story. You can pull something from your journal. It can come from anywhere as long as I'm seeing your elements of fiction. Just remember, this is the writing process is part of it, so you are going to need to make sure pre-writing and drafts and revision are all part of it. During this time, I'm going to be available for you to give you feedback. We can do a Zoom conference if you want to, in any way you need. I'm here to support you. You're going to notice that I put the due date here, Friday, May 1st. That's the Friday after April vacation. What I didn't want to do is require you to do work over vacation. I want you to take a break. So we always have 2 weeks to work on a portfolio. So next week you'll be working on this. You'll take a break over April vacation, and then the following week after April vacation, you'll be working on this. If you choose to do the work over vacation, that's your choice, but I highly encourage you to take a break from all of your schoolwork and just relax and recharge and do some things for yourself over vacation. So it'll be due on May 1st, so you have plenty of time. The four rubrics are also attached to this post, so you'll be able to look at those 4 rubrics. 3 of them are the very same they were for the nonfiction unit, so pretty easy. Reminder of the work we've done and the skills that you should have practiced. Obviously, some of these activities we didn't get to do because they would have been in-class activities, but they're all in your folder. So if you have your folder with you, you're good to go. If you don't have your folder with you and you would like a copy of anything, please reach out. I have the whole folder saved as a PDF, so I can certainly share that with you, or I can even post it on Classroom if you think that would be helpful. But I have to see evidence of your character development, really show that you've developed your character. Your plot planning has to be thoughtful. I need to see that there's the rising action, there's the climax. If it's a short story, it can end at that climax, or if it's a little bit longer, you have some falling action and a resolution. That you've chosen a point of view and you've stuck with that point of view, and you've chosen a point of view that actually works best for your story. You're using dialogue effectively, both by formatting it correctly and by sticking to that advice from that dialogue handout. out, right? It's really meaningful dialogue. It feels real. It feels authentic. And it's actually doing something to either reveal something about the character, the theme, or push the plot forward. It's not just there just because. The dialogue is doing something for you. That your story conveys a theme is necessary, and that maybe you've woven in some of the other literary devices. And again, those are in your packet. If you want more information, just reach out. I'm happy to send you anything you need. So that is the the fiction portfolio that you will be working on. If you want to, you can really write anything. So if you're listening to me and you're saying, gosh, she only said short story or novel, I really want to write a screenplay, that is fine. You can write it as a screenplay. You can write it as a series of short stories that sort of link together. You can write it in any way you want. My best advice, though, is really think about the scope, how large your plot line is. And if it is too big for a short story, don't try to force fit it into a short story, because you're going to kind of undermine the plot line. You're probably not going to do it justice. You're going to rush through the story, and it's not going to make for a good story. So if you think the plot line is too big for a short story, then just go ahead, write a couple of chapters, and I will know that this would be longer if you had more time. So I think that's everything here. Everything will be, like I said, on Google Classroom. The rubrics are all there for you to look at. Similarly to nonfiction, if you want to get that 4 level on this first rubric, you will have to do that WCA chart. Look at an example piece of fiction and explain what's really great about it, what skills that author used, and then try to imitate that in your own. This right here, that's only for that level 4 on that first rubric. So if this stresses you out, don't worry too much about it. It's only one of the going for the 4s, the going for the 100 rubrics. It's not all of them. So I think that's everything. If you need anything at all, please reach out. I'm sort of relying on you to tell me what you need at this point as a creative writer. You'll see that I'll also post today, or maybe while you're watching this, I've already posted a little Google form survey. I really need to know where your head is at as far as this class. And if you are hoping that you can just take it pass fail, if you want it to be renamed as the Distance Learning Creative Writing so that you can take regular creative writing again because you feel like maybe your experience in this class has been sort of taken away from you since we haven't been together. So if you could just please fill that out sooner rather than later, that would be awesome. I just want to know, like I said, what the majority of the class wants to do so I can make a decision as the teacher, sort of moving forward with this class. So I hope that I hear from all of you soon through your completion of activities. And please let me know, please send me an email if you're struggling to do this work. At least check in with me and at least tell me that you're struggling, and that you are here, that you're clicking in and you're watching videos, or you're looking at the assignments but you're just having trouble. At least it's a good place to start, and maybe we can go from there. I just don't want anybody to get a 0 for this class. When all you have to do is really check in and make an effort, and as long as you do that, that's a 100 summative score. So I hope you are all doing well, and I will see you soon.